After weeks of no polling out of Nevada, we finally have some insight into how the voters of the Silver State feel about the candidates.
Joining us now via Skype is the Executive Director of Data for Progress, Sean McElwee. Great to have you, Sean. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
All right,
Sean.
there have been so few polls of the state. It has driven me absolutely insane. But you have a new one that was taken on the 19th and the 20th. Let us know, what were your results?
We have Bernie poised for a very strong victory with 32% of the vote, followed by Warren with 17%, Pete Buttigieg with 15%, and Biden currently in fourth place with 14% of the vote.
Wow, Sean. And so you just to, I think, put it in context for the audience, your polls have been absolutely spot on ahead of New Hampshire and ahead of the Iowa caucuses. So if this holds, it's kind of a devastating result for Joe Biden. Sean, could you speak to just maybe if there was a debate bump, so to speak, for Warren amongst these likely Nevada caucus goers?
Absolutely. We've seen a modest but real bump of about a point for Elizabeth Warren since our earlier polls. And I would say in terms of Biden, this would be absolutely devastating. We are going to be going to the field, South Carolina, very soon. But the public polls that we've seen have already shown the gap closing to 2 to 3 points. The momentum of a Sanders victory, as large as the one that we are projecting right now, would absolutely put Sanders in play for winning all 4 of the first states.
Mm-hmm. Talk to us about what kind of demographic breakdown can you tell us within these numbers? We've seen other polls that had Sanders having particular strength with Latinos in particular. Do you have that kind of data breakdown?
Yeah, absolutely. We have Sanders performing overwhelmingly with Latino voters. If there is a strong Latino turnout, which we are projecting, the Latino strength will put him over the edge, which I think, if you're looking towards November, puts Bernie Sanders in a very strong position in states like Arizona, where Democrats are going to need to be competitive. And his strength among working class voters means that he could absolutely be winning back those blue wall states from the Obama era. So we have a candidate who would be a very strong general election candidate based on the numbers we're seeing from this Nevada poll.
Mm-hmm. Sean, just to go back to something you said earlier, you said it's just going to put Sanders in a strong position in South Carolina to win the first 4 states. What gives you the confidence in that? Is there based on any particular modeling of how you've seen these types of bumps that eventually translate to that? Because that seems to be the one last state where Biden does have some support, enough possibly to eke out a first place victory.
Yeah, absolutely. What we have seen is that as Sanders has had victories, the positive coverage that he's getting from that, the fact that voters are starting to see that he's a candidate who can win, leads to more people joining him. I mean, the fact that right now we're looking at a double-digit lead in Nevada, I think tells you the strength of that momentum. Very few people were seeing those sorts of numbers in Nevada in the public polls. Last month, those polls actually had Biden ahead. We're now seeing that he has absolutely collapsed, just as he's done in the national polls. And the public polls in South Carolina have shown Bernie gaining strength as more and more voters are giving him a second look. They're seeing this is real. People are turning out for him. And he's drawing an immense amount of coverage. And, quite frankly, if you look at the debate stage, people are so focused on Bloomberg. And this is an absolutely perfect foil for Bernie. I think that these debates are only going to strengthen him, and the fact that people are seeing him winning, there's definitely going to be a sort of bandwagon effect, and it's going to make it incredibly difficult to stop him. He has strong favorable numbers among Democrats. If the establishment comes in now and starts running ads against them, voters are going to have an immense backlash to the idea of Silicon Valley billionaires spending hundreds of millions of dollars on Biden's super PAC. They're going to say, look, Bernie is the candidate. He's clearly what the voters want. Why is the establishment trying to step on that and take that away?
Sean, can you speak to the methodology of your polling and how well you did compared to the eventual result in both Iowa and New Hampshire?
Yeah, absolutely. We were early to see the Biden collapse, and the reason for that is a lot of the polls that we've seen have used online panels, and those tend to be folks that are taking surveys for Amazon gift cards and stuff like that. What we do is we actually take from the voter file, and we have a team of texters who throughout the day send text messages to likely voters, asking them what they think. That means we have a much better coverage in terms of young voters, much better coverage in terms of Latino voters. Those types of folks are often missed out by the panels, and I think one reason that the online panels have been underestimating Bernie is because he has such intense working class support. And what we have seen consistently is these online panels, they're biased towards people who use a computer during their job. That means they have a lot more white collar type of folks, and they don't have the working class folks that are driving the Sanders movement. So by using these text to web, we're able to get people via text message, a place where workers, a place where young people will actually engage with our surveys. And I think that gives us a much more representative sample.
Yeah, well, like I said at the beginning, Data for Progress, the polls have been absolutely on the nose. So thank you so much for joining us, Sean, and sharing these results with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. We're very grateful.
Thank you so much for having me. And I think we should talk again come Super Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Let's make it happen. All right, and we'll have more Rising for you after this.